Okay, everybody, here we are. We're back with another Torq Moto podcast. We're kind of going live. Obviously, you're watching the recording, but we are here at Farleigh.
Live in front of a studio audience.
Live in front of a studio. It's a good-looking bunch they are as well. So, yeah, we're back with another pod. Yes.
Excellent.
They're only a couple of beers in as well, and they're
early days, yeah, kid, early days. Nobody's climbing the pillars, the pillars
yet. So we've done a couple of these at
Farleigh days, they were climbing the pole. Yeah, I mean, I remember that.
Foxhill days.
Yeah, even Farleigh, Namur. I went there spectating as a kid, and they climbed the poles.
There you go.
Yeah. Back in '86.
These are the stories that we said. So you've obviously worked out by now, for those of you who know, Mark Eastwood is our first guest. We're going to get Easty on another time in the actual studio proper, because
we're never going to fit it in.
There's at least... Even in my memory, there's at least 5 episodes, our episodes, that we could talk about just our road trips alone.
Yeah, we did a lot of years of that, didn't we? I mean, what was it? 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99.
And so it went on.
50 GPs and Talavera and, on to Portugal.
Best days of my life. I had hair then. You had, we were rockers.
Yeah, I had long hair then.
Fans.
Yeah, exactly.
We were having it, weren't we?
Yeah, we were looking silly. But whatever.
We didn't think that at the time.
No, not at all. We were cool.
I had hair once. I had hair. I genuinely.
Oh, you did. More hair on your ass, man.
Then you've got stories. Then you went and raced in America, and so then you've got Wobbs. You two have got stories.
Yeah, that's it.
We were in each other's pockets for a couple of years there.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did 2 seasons there. Ex-GP guy, a bit over the hill. Went out there, didn't really know anything about it, and Wobbs was obviously the man out there who'd been a Suzuki factory mechanic obviously for years, and then was working for Smith doing factory support, all the races, supplying the goggles for the riders. So of course I went out there and he hooked me up with some really good people, and we just pretty much did 2 seasons of nationals out there outdoors, 04 and 05. Got to be honest, again, some of the best times of my life. Actually, when I look back at those times, I feel a little bit depressed.
Yeah, it felt hard work at the time, but we had a laugh, man.
Because I miss them so much, you know.
Well, and, I'm going to dive in there.
Anyway.
I'm going to cast the hook out, because I know that you went and did AMA at that time, because you'd done 10 years of GPs. We'd done a lot together.
Yeah, like 14 years
and
of GPs.
You and I both know that around that time, 99, 2000, that we caught the best of it. The GPs were starting, they went to the one race format.
Yeah.
Prize money. Yeah. You were disillusioned with it.
Yeah.
We both were.
Well, I hung on to 03.
Yeah.
And we were down to one race format. And I think it was the time of Dorna taking it over with the road racing. Same people. And I think 04, that was Longo took it back over. And then they stopped the prize money and the qualifying money and all that. So pretty much for all us guys who weren't on factory rides and were finishing like 10th to 15th.
All of a sudden you're paying
all of a sudden it was over. And I just thought, you know what? I really want to race in America. I've always really admired the American riders and everything they do with their, super tough Supercross season and into outdoors. And I just thought it'd be really nice to go and do that, even though I was a little bit too old, And I went out there, I was like 33 and then 34 to 2 years. But I went out there and had a go, and it was quite good actually, because I did, 04 was Ricky's perfect season, coming back from the injury on the 450.
How freaky is that lining up next to them guys? I mean, sat in the box.
Unbelievable.
Just like...
I remember pulling up for free practice, and I pulled up, and Ricky pulled up next to me. And he's pretty short, and it's like his bike all set up low, and he pulled up, he was like handlebars were underneath mine, and I was like sitting there looking at him thinking,
he's a midget, I can have him.
Yeah, this is so I didn't think that at all. But I thought this is so like so weird.
You were there when they were using that dry ice on Ricky's bike.
Yeah,
and it was like an inch thick of ice.
Yeah, and that
cool it down.
Gold stuff on the tape.
And it was all like flowing down like steam. It was freaky, wasn't it?
Yeah, and also 05, of course, the year after, James Stewart moved up on the 2-stroke.
Yeah.
So, I was out there for that as well, where they, him and Ricky had some epic battles. And, I was there at Unadilla when he jumped on his back. And
I remember that.
They were both laying down the hill, and I raced past them, because I was having a good day. I had like in 9th or something, and I was thinking, they're down, But Ricky soon came back by.
There was a little backstory to that, because we obviously were working at Moto at the time. I think you were still editor then, I was assistant editor. And we fought really hard. The one person had a picture of it, wasn't it? It wasn't even
There was
the
a
best
girl.
shot.
There was a girl, and she'd showed Ricky's dad, and I'm like, who took that picture?
You've got to buy that picture.
Who took that picture? He said, oh, it's just some girl over there. So I went and found her. I said, don't share it to anything. We'll buy it off you.
Yeah.
And so they worked on it and tried to get it as focused as possible, and we got it on the front cover, but it was pretty pixelated. It wasn't the best picture.
No, but it was the only picture.
I won't say what Ricky's dad said.
No, don't. Definitely don't.
No, they weren't happy. No.
I've got the gear that James was wearing in my office.
Yeah. Fair play.
You touched on it earlier before we went live. We were saying about, or we might have been live then, about the history of events. You can remember people going up the poles. I mean, your history in motocross goes so far back.
Yeah.
You and Scott, your brother Scott, who was elder. Dad was obviously a top level rider, world championship rider, runner up in the world, all those things. I remember you telling me a story about like when you were 3, I think, and Scott was 5, and you were bundled into like an Austin Healey or something with a trailer on the back and drove to Russia.
Yeah, it was
Russia.
Yeah, I don't think it was me. It was
Oh,
Scott.
right, just Scott.
Yeah, I wasn't. I don't think I was born then. But yes, my mum and dad did go to Russia. Yeah, we're in Austin here with a trailer to do a GP. Way back then.
I mean, when I was doing GPs in the late 80s.
Scott was actually 3 years old.
3 years old.
Yeah,
So
I
you
wasn't
weren't
actually
born.
born, no. And and they did. And it's just stuff like that now, you know. It seems funny that, you know, I'm just going to say this, but it seems funny that you go to a schoolboy race and everyone's got an RS.
Yeah. More
But anyway.
to the eyeballs. Yeah. It's mad, isn't
you know,
it?
times have changed. But, but that was like really going behind the Iron Curtain back then.
Yeah, I mean, I caught the end of that in like the 80s.
Yeah.
And that was freaky going over there.
I think
Freaky.
It was actually illegal back then in the 60s to, to the end of the 60s to make tea in Russia. And my dad's got some, I know it's weird. And well, my mum and dad got old photos and, there's Dave Vickers and his mechanics and my dad and all, they're hiding down behind this platform, and they're making a cup of tea.
I've heard some stories about Vickers. When I used to work with
Things like that.
Mark Banks, John Banks, his dad, and Vickers used to start telling stories.
Yeah.
And they said there was one point they were driving down Ukraine or somewhere, and there was a row of cones, and they were just driving down the middle of these cones, just smashing them everywhere.
Yeah.
And apparently every 100th cone was a concrete one.
Yeah.
So they ripped this concrete cone, smashed all the radiator, and they're like 5 cones down and pulled over on the side of the road, and the police had got there, and he's like, I fell asleep.
Yeah. Get away with it that way, I
Oh
guess.
my God, yeah.
So, we know your background. Obviously, we've known you a long time. A lot of people don't. But I mean, you have just, this has been your life. For many of us, it is. But I mean, literally, it has been your life from the minute dot you've been born. You've gone racing. Dad was a racer. You travelled all around GPs with him. Then Dad bought the shop. You then got brought into that. You're an incredibly good mechanic. I know that much. So you know how to do all your bikes, all your suspension.
Yeah.
I mean, you even helped me set up my bike, and I'm racing him.
Yeah.
I'm,
In 98, you rode for us at the shop. Yeah, you pretty much rode with our engines.
Yeah, and it was
suspension,
awesome. Yeah, best year I've had, best result.
Yeah, they were good bikes.
Yeah.
Really good bikes back then.
So, and yet you're still going strong. And that's the point I'm saying, because you broke your leg recently, but
I did. Yeah. Obviously, I missed Fox Hill last year. I did the race here at Farleigh, and last year, and then I broke my leg just after in the week practicing just before Fox Hill. That was 22. 23. Sorry. So I obviously missed Fox Hill last year, and so then I was off for 7 months because it wasn't particularly painful or a nasty break, but it just was really complicated. Took a long time.
You're getting older now, kid. They don't heal sometimes, do they?
And it was right in the knee joint, so it took like 7 months to get sort of back going. And to be honest, it's going to sound a little bit weird, but I thought I couldn't ride a bike, so I thought all I could do was start training. So I started training like I was doing GPs. I don't really know why. I was getting up at like 6 in the morning, and
he's a header. I've said it all along. He is a header.
And I was doing like, hour in the gym 5 days a week because I couldn't do anything else. I did that for 6 months and started riding after 7 months. And to be honest, it's actually done me a right favour. I feel really good. So I've been riding quite well lately, and I've been having some all right rides, to be fair.
I mean, you've always had this turn of speed. I've been fortunate enough to travel with you, so I know what your mindset's at. You're an out-and-out racer. And I say that because I'm not. We are different. We know that. We travelled together for so long.
Well, I try not to be.
Yeah, but you can't help yourself.
Things go a little bit wrong on the start line.
So things are fair to say. I know you well enough that, like, when they say the crash on it goes on and like,
Oh yeah.
this cat, I've never really met anybody that's got that so definitive, right? We travelled around and we had a proper laugh.
Yeah,
we can't even tell a lot of the stories. We just can't.
No.
Because we get in a lot of trouble.
No, yeah.
Oh, you got a good story. We went to Travis's house. Remember that?
Yeah, that was a good story. Yeah.
God, that
was a good
kid's
story.
mental.
Yeah, he's mental.
I had to break into his house because he was asleep.
Yeah.
One day we're going to have to all write a book together. We should definitely do that. But I've seen it so firsthand. We've been travelling about in the week. We've had such a laugh. And talk about race face. We get to a GP and almost like the paddock entrance is like the trigger point for Eastie.
Yeah.
We could be driving around a laugh, we're listening to music or whatever. We cruise into the GP paddock.
Right.
The minute you go through those gates, it's all in. He's in race mode, like literally, aren't you? I mean,
yeah, I do struggle with that. I mean, I always try and tell myself to stay relaxed. It's funny, like some people pump themselves up for a race, like Mark Banks and Mervyn Anstey and people like that would shout for a race to get themselves fired right up. For me, I've always been trying to get myself relaxed all the weekend, really.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just
some guys need firing up, some guys need calming down. It's just the way it is.
I'm just fired up as soon as I drive in the paddock. I can't help it.
Yeah, that's how it's.
Can't help it.
But the dynamic, and so obviously for a while there, Scott was also like your mechanic. So that's always a dynamic when you've got brothers, and it's fair to say, siblings, we are all so different. I'm completely different to my brothers or whatever.
Yeah, your brother's quite cool.
Yeah, thanks, mate. And listening to that,
so is mine, apparently.
Apparently. So we're the dickheads.
You're the weird ones.
Yeah. But I mean that in itself, because you know each other inside out. So that dynamic, it was good. It worked, but there were so many times where you were like, Scott was like, he's a nightmare. I can't.
Well, yeah, I was a nightmare. I mean, I'm not going to make any excuses for anything. I mean, when I was doing GPs at times, I was an absolute nightmare. I mean, I remember once we went 1997, we were going to Brew GP.
Oh, but
we're running,
result?
Yeah. Well, this is what it's all about. And then, we're running late, and I'm in got to go in the supermarket, and I've just pulled this into Marshall, and I've just parked in the entrance in an 814, and I've just literally turned the thing off and jumped out. I'm going, that's it. And Scott's going, you cannot park here, and I just went, I'm effing parking where I want. You know what I mean? Got in there, got my shop in, got out there, caused chaos. Got a race. Me and Scott had a big row getting there. We hadn't even talked to each other. Best weekend ever. I mean, mate, I smashed it out of the park. Like, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes it just goes like that. And it was funny because we went down to technical control that weekend, and we went down to get technical control, and 250 GPs, you always had to do some jetting. We got down there, and the bike was just straight away. It was just like rap. It was like this thing. It sounded the best it sounded all year. Yeah. We didn't change anything, and went out and qualifying third fastest. I think whole shot both races.
Pretty much you did, yeah. Helped Tortelli back for ages, racing with Stefan.
Yeah, it was just one of them weekends, and it don't get much better than that. For me, that was probably, I always look back at that race, but I was never the best in the world, but when you're racing the best in the world like that, it's such a stacked field, and you're really having a go with them. For me, that's all that really matters when it comes to racing bikes,
So you're back. We're in the same race tomorrow.
Yeah.
Both number 3. I'm 3X, he's number 3.
Not confusing at all, then.
No. Well, it won't be confusing, will it? Because he's going to be at the front, right? And he's on a red bike and going quick. No, there's no maybe about it. I'll be on a blue bike.
With your arse hanging out.
Yeah. Basically, I've done no prep, obviously, none whatsoever.
No, I could see that.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. That's the way I like to roll. You know that. So, you're back after the broken leg, so you're clearly still enjoying the riding. And this is a track I know. It's a bit of you. You ride so technically.
Yeah, I've always liked it.
You've always done that, haven't you?
Yeah, I've always liked it. I came here as a kid with my dad. Watched the greats. Malherbe and Fulpy. I was here in '85 as a kid, and
that was mental, wasn't it?
Watch them. Watch David get taken out by Merv in the first turn. you know, and then David came back from last to first in 4 laps. And Andre, I remember standing there watching, and Andre's riding around behind Dave Watson in second. You know, and like the first race, they'd been like so far in front of Dave Watson on that. Look out. The first race had been so far in front of Dave Watson and that lot. And he's riding around in second. I think, what's he doing? Why didn't he just pass him, get a lead? You know, and then David came and then he passed Andre, and then they went at it all race. And then, of course, David got a little bit tired, and Andre went on to pull away and win the race and win the GP. And I always remember the interview afterwards. Andre Mylurby went, they said, oh, yeah, you know, did you know David was coming? And Andre just went, yeah, I was waiting him.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, the reason he didn't pass Watson, because it was a 45-minute GP, and he knew Thorpe was coming to the front. And he just saved energy.
Tactics,
Yeah, and the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the race, you know. And to be here and witness something like that and learn something like that at 14 years old with my dad, you know, who obviously knew what it was all about. It's all those sort of things that you take on board. And I was a nobody then, you know, in schoolboys I was a nobody. And but all those things, they make a difference.
Yeah. They do. We're going to save so much with it because we are going to get Easty on in the studio.
Proper show at home.
For a proper show at home with proper sound. Going to get him half cut, even more. So yes, absolutely.
Yes,
so we can
100%.
get those golden nuggets out of
2
you.
groups tomorrow, boys. 2 groups. I'm not sure if I'm up for that at 50.
Exactly.
Can't believe we've got talked into this team race. We've got a race against Tommy and everyone. They're like,
No, you'll be fine, mate.
You'll be fine.
that'd be all right.
Me, I will be hanging out of my arse, and I'm only doing 2, and you'll come in off your 4th and still whip my ass. So don't worry about that. So we're going to get you back.
Bit of extra practice. That's why I look at it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he would. He'd ride all day if he had the chance.
No, exactly.
He would.
Exactly.
So listen, we're going to try and book you in, get you in the winter, hopefully into the studio. So everybody watching at home, everybody here, put your hands together for Mark Eastwood.
Thank you.
The fast number 3 tomorrow, okay? Not the one on the blue bike going slow.
Well, we'll see.
Well, mate, there's no question about
Thanks,
it.
kid.
No more beer.
You got a free beer out of it, if
Yeah,
nothing else.
yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Come on
Thank
out.
you.
We're going to get our next
Thanks
guest in. I'll see you
Cheers,
in a
thank
minute,
you.
mate. There you go. So Easty's going to step out. Who have we got next
Brilliant,
in
mate.
the limelight?
Clement's coming
We
in.
are definitely going to get him on for a proper one. Who we got?
Clement.
Oh, Clement. Let's get him in, man. I'll see you tomorrow.
There he is. Cheers, that kid. See you again.
Come on in. Clement, go and sit down, man.
Come on, man.
Okay. Just put these on.
Yep.
Because you struggle to hear us otherwise, Clement. Can you hear us okay? There's a
Yes.
little bit of noise, a little bit of
Good,
kickback. Everybody at home, obviously, everybody, we can't go too much higher. Sound guys will sort it out. Everybody, Clement Desalle, put your hands together for Clement.
Yep.
What a privilege, Clement, it is to have you here. Wobbs knows you better than what I do, but
I don't know Clement very well at all. Out of all the guys I know at the Grand Prix, we never really... I know who he is, but I never dealt with him.
Me too, because you were coming in the GPs when I was stopping. So, but one thing I've always thought about you, I've put the same thing to some other riders. You seem to be, you're focused with racing. You had very much a race face on, and I don't think we ever really saw the real you in your GP career. Now doing your stuff with Triumph, and now the pressure's off.
Yeah, it's true.
You seem to be having so much fun.
It's true that it's something different. I was really focused on my goal and on racing. But many people see me now like saying that thing, like I'm much more relaxed and everything. But it was like something that I need to be like really fully focused and concentrating on what I was doing.
Yeah, we had Villapoto same way. Villapoto said I couldn't be cool and be fast. You had to do one or the other,
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's something that you don't really control. Like it's part of your style to be, lifestyle. And example, when I had a bad race, I was really frustrated on me. But actually, it's different. And also, I learned much more things, on relaxed time and after all that racing time.
It's easy for me to say this now because you're sat here in front of me. But I've always thought that you were one of the most underrated riders. Even
the man's won Grand Prix. How could be underrated?
But that's what I mean. Like, you were right there.
Factory Kawasaki, factory Suzuki.
No.
Underrated.
No, what I mean is, like, he was always right there, trying to win championships. But it was always this thing, like, you know, the battle between Caroli and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think you ever got the credit for pushing those guys as much as you did. That's what I meant. I didn't mean he was underrated. I meant you was one of those riders that pushed them further and further.
Yeah, you know, it was complicated all the time. Fight against this guy, and then, you know, every year I try to be better on me, you know, to progress, to improve myself. Really busy on this actually, and concentrate. Maybe, you know, I can say sometimes too much, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, after time it's easy to say, and then, I say it again to the guys who take me to the airport on the way. And I just, like, you know, I was really committing on the thing and focused on that. And I think that was important for me. And now I think I need that to go that way.
Right.
But in another way, you know, it was I didn't care too much of getting, like, some of the riders take a lot of importance to be, you know, to look good, to all that thing around. You know, for me, I didn't care. You know, I just wanted to win. Of course, after I get to a point that I know that you need to have, like, good image and everything. Sometimes I see myself now in some podium of old video, like, you know, I'm on the podium, second or third, and then I'm not happy. You know, it's not so nice, but, you know,
I get that.
it's a part of
That's what I'm kind of saying, because Kurt Nickel was another rider. We've spoken to Kurt about how when he was racing, he always looked so stony-faced. And as a pro, you want to win, and people show disappointment. But I always remember when it didn't go right for you. I mean, you look really pissed, like you were going to punch
Well, you
somebody.
never look that cheerful anyway. I've got to get.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. I mean, you wanted it so bad, didn't you? Like,
no, it's true, but actually, you know, it was really on me, and just like that was the most important thing. And at the end, you know, to be honest, also it was a package of few things. Sometimes, like, I'm a passionate of motocross. First of all, you know, I like to ride good track, old school. You know, I'm a passionate. So also, like, some track that I was riding at the end, I didn't like it so much, and that's why when I come to a place like here,
the track's cool, huh?
Have you raced here?
No, never.
Okay,
but I mean, I can see, like,
you're gonna love it.
Yeah,
and I know that because I know enough what you've just said. Your background, Kester was always one of my favourite tracks, and it's always a track that I think, you know, you grew up knowing Kester in Belgium.
Kester.
Kester.
All right. Kester.
Yeah. That kind of natural ground is very you, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So you're gonna love it out there.
For sure. And then it's like, you know, a couple of races like Orc Le Grand and things that track like this. Really many tracks like that in the past. I think, to be honest, the motocross of today don't take really some the good direction on this. Should take a bit more care of things like this. It would be benefit for everybody, actually. But that's another thing, and I'm definitely super excited to try the track tomorrow.
I've got to ask him this, and you'll probably feel the same, Wobbs, because you're a mechanic. I'm going to have to ask the question. Was a mechanic. And you still are. If you wanted to be, you still are. Clement, I can't let you leave without asking about how you run your handlebars.
This question
again. It is ugly. It is ugly looking.
No, actually, it's
because the only rider I've seen like that was my first hero, Graham Noyce, the 1979 500cc champion. And I mean, but the handlebars were different back then anyway. But yours, like, you've actually got them on your lap.
Carmichael had also.
But Carmichael's a small guy. I get you're a big guy.
Actually, I have an easy answer to that. You know, in 2009, I moved to Honda, and they have the brand new bike, and we had no parts, nothing available, you know, there. And I all the time in this winter had a bad feeling of, you know, of the bike. You know, every entry of the corner, the bike take me out. You know. But we had no parts coming, no option to try, no offset different, no angle different, nothing. So then I went to the track and I said, I want to try something radical that I can, with what I have, you know?
Yeah.
And then I go a big step of handlebar to see if I can get good on that way, to give me a direction. One step, another big step, and then I find a really good thing to help me straight away, you know?
Oh, cool.
And then that's the point. So then it stuck from that.
From 2009, and I was riding only 1 year with that bike, because Suzuki buy my contract bike. I moved to the Suzuki factory, And I did 1 year with the handlebar like this, and I start to get feeling with this setup. That when I move, it follow me a little bit, and that's the reason.
And that's the reason.
That's the reason.
Because it always I wondered if you started like that, but obviously
you
not.
can check in
So if you look at pictures before that,
2008, 2006, it's quite normal.
in it.
Never know that.
No.
So when did you actually start racing? Because there's been so many good Belgian riders that actually don't start that young. They start riding quite young, but they don't start. Joel Smets was one of them. Even Stefan didn't really start racing till he was he didn't start on an 85 or anything.
Yeah.
Like that. So when did it start for you?
Actually, in GP, I started 2006. I was 17.
Yeah.
So it come like that with some opportunity, and then I was just on the bike really at 11 years old, more. So
you started at 11.
10, 11.
10,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
a lot of riders start at 4 or 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was not really early.
Yeah.
But after a moment that I was on it, I make the step, keep going step by step. And with experience, you go again, and I could get that opportunity and to move on a 450 straight away in GP. I never ride a 250 in GP.
You didn't.
Never. But it happened like this, and I had a strategy on it to go step by step because I was pretty young on the 450 bike.
Yeah.
But that was the only possibility that I had, and I'm coming from nothing, no budget with my parents, so I take that and then I actually went okay when I can say no.
So what was the interest in motocross? Did your father ride?
My father ride. I grew up, between bike and bicycle stuff like that, and in one moment I was really on it.
And tell us a little bit about Belgium motocross, because obviously here in the UK,
For a little while they were struggling. They were closing tracks.
we're starting to lose
No,
tracks.
actually,
Is it bad?
it's really bad. Yes. Now, actually, the town where I'm coming from, they try from 9-10 years to get back a track in the city, but now actually freshly the news said it's not possible. So I was also, after I stopped GPs, I tried to help 2-3 places, but after 2-3 meetings that I went with the guys, I see and feel that I lose my time, and you stick with people. It will not go. So at the end, it's really a shame, actually, really bad. So I don't like. It's a really bad mentality in the country. Someone told me today, actually, some track maybe will come. They sign something in politics. I don't know. To be honest, I hope so, but I don't really believe on it. I don't really believe in it. I don't see any result. Because many people talk, many discussions, but nothing happened, and it's a shame.
So let me ask you this. You rode factory Suzuki, factory Honda, factory Kawasaki. You always seem more at home on the Suzuki to me. I know you rode the Carry well, but that Suzuki seemed to suit you much better, I think.
No, it's true that the Suzuki straight away, when I jump on it, it was going well quickly. On the Kawasaki, at the end, I was really feeling home and good. But the first time I jump on the Kawasaki, I feel that I will have a lot of work to make the bike perform to a good result to me. And actually, that's how it was. That's how it was. And it's true that the Suzuki went way good to me, but both bike.
Yeah. So how's the Triumph thing work out? What happened there? Why all of a sudden you're working for Triumph? What's going on?
Was that a small connection with the guys from Kawasaki, because they're now involved with the Triumph thing?
Exactly, yeah. They still working that team, let's say the basic of these teams, and it's going good. It's going good for first year. It's been for 2-3 years that I developed the bike with the team, really focus on some important point, and I went back on the 250 since a long time, but I adapt myself on the riding style for the 250, and I was impressed how the company, how the brand could bring some important parts, quickly to make the bike much better straight away.
How are they to work with? They good guys?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah,
the bike's good. I mean, they got a lot of good guys on team.
Yeah.
They ain't scared to spend the money.
And in February, I was back on the standard bike because I'm more on test rider on the racing bike. But then in February, I was back on the standard bike for the presentation, and I was happy to feel, all the progress we have done out of the box for people who can buy the bike. That's really nice because cool. Yeah, it's nice. I had fun on the standard bike going out of the box.
That's cool.
I'm a rider who like to have like some.
I need to see more video of you riding a 250. I absolutely do. No, that's what I mean.
But you riding a CR 500 tomorrow?
Yeah, it's in fact, yeah.
You've been much on two strokes, though?
Sorry?
You ridden two strokes very much?
Not so much, no. Just a little bit on 250 Yamaha for 1 year. 125, same 1 year. But that's it.
He'll be going around there tomorrow like he's on bloody rails, like he always does.
Never been off one.
Like, just so good with your throttle control and everything. I've got to say, on behalf of Wobbs and everybody here at the event, it's so cool to have you here.
Thank you.
It's massive boost. Thank you.
Seen you, like, you kind of stopped and then we haven't,
Yeah, thank you very much to welcome me like that. And
that's cool.
I have to say a special thanks to Sean from the SS Porto who welcomed me and welcomed me here like that.
I hear you did a bit of testing up in the Welsh mountains as well. He told me that you've been riding in the Welsh mountains with him.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Nice, really nice. Cool.
And he told me...
No, I have more time to take time for stuff like that.
But what he did tell me, he said most motocross riders, when they go and ride the mountains in Wales, they still think they're motocross riders, but he said you were just like straight into the enduro trim, like super smooth, going over the logs.
That's good. I like to touch a bit every bike, enduro, trails, like trial bike, like a bit of road racing, but not that good in everyone, but still anyway.
We're looking forward to seeing you ride tomorrow.
Excellent.
Thanks for your time, Clement. Like, good stuff.
You're a star.
Yeah,
Thanks,
absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
Everybody give it up for Clement Desalle.
Yeah.
Now, you probably won't get to hear this at home because we've got Danny as a sound engineer genius. This is, the feedback is so noisy. Like it's noisy in our ears. We got a job I can hear a conversation that a bloke was having 3 rows back. But anyway.
There'll be nobody on the next one.
Who we got next? Brilliant.
Oh.
I said about getting this cat in. Come on in, Mr. Sam Sunderland. Everybody,
hey, Paris Dakar ball.
put your hands together for a Paris Dakar winner.
Two-time Paris Dakar winner.
2-time. Put the bins on. Get this about 2 or 3 inches from your gob.
Okay.
This is going to be rowdy. This is so noisy in your lug holes.
Can't hear a thing,
I don't think you can hear out there.
No, wait. This is going to be... has he tamed it down? Oh, Danny.
I can hear everything.
I can just about hear him. Can you hear him?
It sounds great, but they're telling me you can't hear anything.
No, it's sad because you can't hear out there.
Oh, no. Right. But we can hear them better than they can hear themselves.
Okay.
Oh, I can hear them.
But one of those things. How are you, mate? It's so good to see you. Last time obviously, before we start, you're from my neck of the woods. You're originally from, tell everybody where you're from.
Dorset.
Dorset.
Upton. Yeah, Port area. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then I first kind of, shipped and I first kind of come across knowing you when I think you were racing, I think it might have been a Ringwood club, did a little bit of motocross way back. You were little. I'm older than you.
Yeah.
And I sort of, and then you obviously went on to do your thing. And then what? That's Sam Sunderland, the one that was doing that.
Yeah, trying to match me up, but definitely a local motocross boy at the start for sure.
So when did
I was going to say, how on earth do you get from motocross to giving it, I'm going to go and race across Africa?
Well, what on earth? I think my auntie and uncle lived in Dubai, and I went to visit them on holiday, and that definitely had a big part in it, riding in the desert. And I just remember that feeling when I got there of you could ride where you want, and I couldn't sort of get my head around it, because when you start your bike up, your neighbour's complaining, you arrive to a motocross track, you got to push it to the start, you can ride in the defined track, and then push it back to the wagon. And I remember that first day in the desert, and they were like, yeah, just go where you want, and you're like, what, everywhere? And that feeling of freedom was just amazing, and I think it's something that everyone loves riding a bike for.
The Dubai thing, then, that cemented it all together. In hindsight, now looking back, if you had connections with Dubai, the whole career would have probably never even got off the ground.
No, I was actually a lift engineer. I was a pretty shit one, to be honest. But that was what.
That, mate, you never know. You might have to,
you might have to go back to it.
Sorry,
cut that out of the podcast, please. But
That one from Meridian Lifts, was it?
It was. Andy Tomlin, legend.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, helped me out. It was cool.
They used to sponsor Paul Speedway. That's how it like a lot, didn't they? Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
So that obviously you stopped doing that, and then the connection. So how did it actually really start to root though?
So when I first moved to Dubai, I went on holiday. I went to the local motocross track. My two little cousins raced motocross, so I brought my kit with me, and I went. I rode one of my little cousin's bike, and the local dealer was like, "Oh, you ride really good. Maybe you could come out here, work for us in the shop, race the local motocross championship." And it's an opportunity.
Not an offer you get every day.
No, exactly. So I was like, mega. Like, sorry, Andy, I'm not a lift engineer anymore. I'm off. And everyone was telling me I'm stupid. It was the time of the credit crunch in 2008. I left in 2009. Like, you're going to lose your job. You just got your apprenticeship finished. And I was like, I'm going. And I actually ended up racing in South Africa, motocross. I did Loretta Lynn's, the amateur national.
Do you know that? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How'd you get on?
I broke the bike.
Oh no!
You have to do areas, regionals,
yeah,
and then the main one. I finished second in the areas, second in the regionals, and then broke the bike straight away. I only had one bike. I'd flown in for it, and anyway, it was a cool experience.
What year was that?
Wow.
You would have been there.
I'm going to say 2009 or 10.
Oh, I might have been there.
I had Mitchell Oldenburg, Justin Bogle. Those were the sort of age group.
I hate the Rattling. You went there though.
Yeah, no, it was a cool experience. Yeah,
awful weekend.
Yeah,
awful week. Yes, you like dealing with crippling hangovers. Well,
I wasn't.
Well, I don't think he was at that age. I hope not. 1,000 degrees.
It was
humid, and hungover. Because I used to work with Denny Stevenson.
Okay.
Bad days.
But it's cool to see the size of it. It's mental over there.
Mental. You could drive for like half an hour and you're still driving past campers.
Big old race, yeah.
That's mad that you did that. I didn't know that.
I did a little bit motocross in Australia, and then it just happened that the first round of the World Rally Championship was Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. So the dealer that I rode for said, "Hey, do you want to race the Desert Challenge?" And I was like, for me, it always seemed a bit shit, like adventure riding in the desert.
Well, I don't know. Them boys got some balls.
Well, I was young at the time and a bit maybe naive to it, and was like, nah.
It's a motocross though. You had that motocross mentality.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't know. I see them boys going flat out, and I'm like,
yeah.
You're older when you're younger, and you're like, I'm a motocrosser.
You think you're a motocross guy, and you're the boy. But I remember shaking Stefan Peter Hansel's hand like he was the plumber, because I had no idea who he was. I was like, all right, mate. Yeah. Good to meet you, lad.
Lift operator meets plumber.
Yeah, a little bit. But anyway, he's obviously a legend now, and learned that. But yeah, I raced that race, and all the factory boys were there. Mark Comer, Cyril Dupre, Villadoms, all the top boys of rally at the time. And I had like a 450 EXC with some big tanks slapped on it, stock suspension, so it was just clapped out. A layer of rubber under the mudguard, but I managed to win 2 of the stages by a pretty good margin. And after that, I had a heap of offers to go race rally, so I was like,
so that was literally it. Like the minute those offers came in, there was no turning back.
No, like
you were like,
well, financially also, because like at the end of the month I arrived at 0, and normally before the end of the month, like Dubai is an expensive place, and I was working as a salesman, and I wasn't selling much. I was too busy trying to sneak off to go riding all the time. And so yeah, actually it was quite funny. After that I got offered a factory HRC contract, and they like flew me out to Japan to see this new prototype rally bike, and I'm
was that one of those first 2 offers that came in?
Yeah.
HRC straight first time doing it, and then get to that's mental.
I won one of the stages by 9 minutes and one by 20 minutes to the second guy, so I was a bit loose at the time, but managed to get a couple of good results, and I think that had some weight on it. But I remember being there in Japan, and they're like, we had to like change into all the white clothes, no phones, it was all top secret, and I'm there in HRC as this little kid, like, and they're asking me for advice about the bike development, and I'm like, no idea, mate. I just rode an EXC.
I just do this. Does that bit go around a bit further?
It was
another 5% on that.
Yeah, it was literally that. So no, it was a cool experience, honestly. Like it was from nothing to everything in a short space of time, and like living the dream. Let's say it was really cool.
That's okay, so with that in mind, then, how did you manage that? Did you get a bit rock and roll? Did it get to your head a little bit?
No. I more felt like I had an opportunity and I had to run with it as far as I could. And I knew that I didn't really know much about rally, because Desert Challenge is a race like all in the sand dunes. So like you see a lot of the lines of the guys in front, so you can use them for navigation. So when you arrive in like Morocco, where it's a stony race and a bit complicated navigation, obviously you can't just gun it pushing lines. And I knew that. Even though I just signed the contract, I'm like, I'm the new rally guy. I knew that I was just a young kid that was pushing like hell the lines, not really looking at the navigation. So I put in a lot of graft. I like made all my own road books, was studying that side of it, like pretty intense. And I was actually at the same time that Giorgio Bay was out there with Arnold Tonus, Strybos, and Anthony Bossier.
Bossier.
And it was really nice because Joe Bay actually kind of took me under his wing a bit, and I could run the same lap times as the boys, but for about 3 laps. And he was like, because I was living out there, I was winning the local championship, having a bit of a party on the weekends, and living the life a bit. And he sort of showed me, hey, if you want to do this, you need to put in a bit of work. And so I started taking it really seriously and training a lot. And that kind of helped dual guide it, let's say. But there was a lot of graft. Like it was, I'm not selling it like it just arrived on my lap one day. I was grafted.
It's such a different discipline.
Yeah.
It's nothing can you pay for it, sure. I mean, it's just
like living
off the scale.
Yeah, it's always new. Like it's always new terrain. Like you've never been there ever, and you're coming over a blind rise, and if you cut because you're a bit scared, by the end of the day, you lost 10 minutes. So if the road book says there's nothing there, you're wedged, and it's really
there was
fast.
always a famous clip in, I think it was the late 80s, early 90s, when, VHS videos of some, I don't even know who it was. No, I am going, I'm staying on topic here. of some dude doing,
I've seen that one.
of some dude, I guess was doing Dakar, that just,
Mr. June, I think I've seen it.
it was all like loads of crash reels at the time.
Well, the thing is, in the June, like I know you've been skiing before, and when the sun's at a strange height, you don't see the undulations, and you just and it's the same in the dunes. You don't see well, like where the end of the dune. Yeah, there's no shadow, so it's quite difficult to judge, especially during that time. A lot of those boys, their only time riding the desert was a race, especially they come from Europe. So it was obviously a massive advantage in my pocket to be living in Dubai, riding in the desert often, and sort of getting familiar with how things work,
But you obviously come in with a degree of respect because you'd already raced motocross. So what I'm getting at is, I think it's fair to say most disciplines for motorcycling, they all respect each other, and every other discipline thinks the other discipline are mental.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I watch road racing and I think,
fuck that.
What's wrong with you?
No,
what are you doing?
Then again,
I watch what you do and think, Sam, what is wrong with you? Are not wired right.
Yeah.
Why would you,
Yeah, no, I mean,
you are tanking on. I mean, what top speeds do you clock up at?
We get to like 180 before, but they restricted it at 160 now.
Kilometres,
But
we're talking.
Kilometres, yeah.
That's
I'm
all
going to
right.
say, Jesus.
That's all right on
Tarmac.
Santa Pod strip where it's a straight line.
Yeah.
Not rattling across unknown territory.
Yeah,
Morocco, you don't know what's over the next ridge.
No, I found out a couple of times the hard way, to be honest. It was,
I bet shit goes wrong quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's one of them. Everything's all right, and then everything's not all right. There's not really much warning,
In between.
Yeah, on the motocross track, normally when you have a crash, you're a bit like, I was a bit tired and pushing on
Yeah,
a
you
bit.
can see it coming a little bit. You get
And somebody's around.
Well, somebody's picking you up.
Well, yeah, they I've led in the desert broken plenty of times, and
That's got to be.
it's not that cool, no.
That honestly,
What about
that's
the
mad.
locals? They're a bit sketchy at best.
Yeah, when you're in South America, it was really cool because the locals loved the race. There was like hundreds of thousands of people supporting it everywhere. But they're in Saudi, they don't really care for it all that much, the local people. So, but the desert side's amazing, like the sporting side, the terrain is great. You got all the different things you'd wish for in a desert race. But it was definitely a bit more spirit in South America.
What has been your darkest moment doing it?
I've had plenty, mate.
I mean, you just said about you've basically, like, you've had a huge shitter. You're lying there, bike all broken, you're all broken. There's nobody around.
So
I mean, that's got to be scary, like particularly when vultures start.
yeah.
Oh,
good
I
luck.
mean, honestly, like, you know, 'cause
No, I crashed in Morocco one time, and I broke my femur. And I was led in this riverbed, and it was like 45 minutes before the helicopter arrived, and they flew me to the local hospital. And I don't know if you've been to Morocco very often, but it's the hospital's at least where the race is. It's there in Mazuga, Eritrea, like way down.
Yeah.
And it's terrible, honestly. There's like cats and stuff walking around the hospital, and I was led there 6 hours. My leg was double the size, and they wanted to do it under just numb my leg and put a femur rod in. And I couldn't speak the language, and yeah, I got this one's 2 centimeters shorter now, like Forrest Gump over here. But
I bet they call you Sniper's Nightmare. Don't they?
yeah, that's it, mate. All the bobbing.
Give it at this.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Listen, so getting the job done, and by the job I mean Paris Dakar.
Twice.
So
That's the fluke, isn't it?
there's not a fluke. The reward to that, obviously, going through those moments.
I hope you got paid for
the
that,
best
kid. I
you
hope you
can.
got paid well.
I'm sure he did. We
I hope
won't
you
go
did.
into that.
Because you earned every penny of it, kid.
Yeah, thank you very much.
But that's got to be, you know, we've spoken to Todd Kellett, obviously, about his holy grail once he started beach racing was the 2K.
Yeah.
Obviously, for you guys, it is that. There's no
Yeah,
two ways
it's
about
like our Olympics.
Yeah.
That guys, like obviously way more media and everything around that than the other races for sure.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
There's a lot of pressure on you for that one then.
A lot of
From the
pressure.
factories. The factories want you to perform there.
You know what it's like because you've been around it enough. Like you want it so bad yourself that as long as the pressure you got on yourself is more than the external pressure, I find it manageable. But like you're going at like 22. I was going into the last day. I only had a 7-minute lead, and
Only
the
7.
whole year's work is put on that race. There's 30 people in the team at the race. You've done 11 days perfectly. And you know, if you take a wrong turn, it's all down the Swanee. You know, so there's a lot of weight on it. When you get across the line, it's as much as a feeling of like that was fucking mega. It's like thank God for
Relief.
that.
It's
Like, the
relief.
is
Yeah.
massive.
When I won the World Supercross Championship with Reynard, it was relief.
Yeah.
You see all these guys dancing around, and I was just sat there thinking, thank fuck that's over.
Yeah.
Wobbs was just like weeping.
I'm sitting on the start gate with the number 1 plate up my jumper, thinking, just counting down the laps, thinking, please, can this be over?
Yeah.
Worst night of my life.
But I think that adds to like when I won in 2017, I had like 25-minute lead going into the last day, and it was kind of like unless I did something real stupid, it was in the bag, and it was real special because it was the first one. But if I was like in my heart, the second, even though it sounds long, 6-7 minute lead, it's not in rally.
No.
So like in my heart, that 22 one was like a proper dogfight, and all throughout the race, like in 17, I was leading from day 4, and I had quite a chunk, so it was more like managing. Whereas this 22 one, it was like
Down to the line.
under the gun until the last day, and it was horrible in the moment. Let's say horrible, like stressful, but such a cool feeling to get it done.
When did it? Just to wrap up, when did it really sink in? How long after getting it done? So you know, you might have been having a quiet moment. I don't know.
It's like
having
that.
a coffee and just gone. Oh,
You know,
It's that. It's
$100.
Yeah.
Dakar champion.
because when you
I've
you
had
know
a
when
couple
you,
of moments this week on the run up to this race.
Yeah.
Giving it, what are we doing?
for me it was like in the plane on my own.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I'm in the plane on my own on the way home, you look back and you go,
What
that
have
was
you
a
done?
job well done.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Flight attendant comes over. You're right, so
yeah. Give me another beer.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Listen, mate, it's so good to have you here.
Awesome, thank you.
know,
Thank you, guys.
Local
Appreciate
motocross.
it. That's it. That's what I like
That's it.
about it, and I see it already here. That same spirit. And
Oh, very much.
Mega.
It's a good vibe.
He's
It.
retired from rally now. We can get him back to where he started. He's still got years to have a motocross career.
I don't know about that. 35, mate. I'm already
you're
on
not even
the
up there.
slippery.
Yeah,
slippery slope.
You're a youth, man.
You've got like 15 years in the tank for
I don't know
motocross.
about that.
Yeah, you have. Listen, I'll think a bit. We'll have a good weekend with it. Thanks for coming out.
Awesome.
Sam.
Thank you, guys.
Catch up with you again.
Thank
man.
you.
Cheers,
There you
mate.
go,
Thank you,
everybody.
mate.
Mr. Sam Sunderland, 2-time Paris Dakar winner. Amazing. Who else have we got? Have we got somebody else coming up? Or are we done? Cheers, fellas. Ah,
Where is he?
where's Chris? Where's Mr. Dawson? Is he about?
He's coming. I can see that.
Okay, so we are bringing in everybody. Put your hands together for Mr. Chris Dawson, Range Supremo. You're going to put these on,
He's up
Chris.
over there, Christian.
Okay.
Oh, it's fucking chaos.
The sound's not great, chap. Yeah, you've got to put them on. It's so noisy, and you've got to get this close to your noggin.
There he is.
Right, this has got to get up close
This has got to get up close.
because we're not projecting to the crowd so much.
We're not
'cause-
projecting the crowd.
No, you're
Not at all.
This is actually. Hold on now. Before we start, this is a bit of you because you market traded back in the day.
Yeah, I was a market trader, and is there anybody out there wants a refund, you can piss off.
Yeah.
Because, take this, I can't see you. So, yeah, I've done a bit of market trading.
So why are you here, Chris? What are we doing? Some charity do. What's going on?
Yeah. What?
We're doing apparently I'm riding a 441 Grand Prix PSA on Sunday for 1 lap.
I thought it was 2 laps.
It is, but I don't feel well. And we've raised so far for the children that's been abused. What do you want? You don't like that? I can't hear what she said.
Just go about that far. Hold, just let it go.
That's don't hold it.
Don't hold it.
Don't own it. So the charity so far has raised up £140,000.
Really?
Yeah, it has, yeah. And if I complete the laps on Sunday, I've got a very wealthy guy that's played another 50 grand.
Really?
Yeah.
Another wealthy guy. That's not you putting another 50 in, is it?
I thought he'd say that.
It's Kinger, isn't it?
No, there's Dave King. Dave
Dave's going to give 1% of his race money for me.
Dave King is somebody's shorts for charity.
Who'd want to buy them?
Exactly. But
So you're riding on Sunday with Graham Noyce, I believe.
yeah, Graham Noyce is going to me racing. Graham Noyce is going to be on the same lap as me, and I'm hoping to beat him. I should do because I paid him enough. Sorry.
Yeah.
But if I don't ride very well on Sunday, I've got Tommy Searle coming down. He's going to put a few cushions up his jumper
Is he?
and jump on my back.
When did you first meet Noyce? Can you remember it?
Yeah, I can. 1976.
And where was that, Chris?
That was Iroquois in Torquay.
Hyrocum.
You remember that?
Oh, of course I remember that.
Yeah.
Good old Devon track.
And
That horrible red soil.
I can go back further than that because I rode, I think it would have been about 71 at Wells in Somerset, and this skinny 15-year-old kid come off on a Rickman Montesa. We thought, who are you? I went out and finished 5th. By the time I come in, he'd got changed, cooked a 3-piece bloody meal, and had an haircut. The guy was phenomenal. We couldn't believe it. He beat everybody in the British Championship. We thought, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Because
He's rock and roll. He was rock and roll. He had the hair.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Yeah.
He was the first to rock and roll, and he was the first person I can remember the fan club.
Yeah.
He had the looks. He was earning big money, and he had nightclubs that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
In Southampton, and he had restaurants. He ain't got any more, but Graham Noyce is part of motocross history.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
What do you think of Graham Noyce? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They got a job to hear us out there, but it was Noyce was kind of like around the same era as Bestie, George Best. So it was and there was all that kind of like thing. Because Badge, bless him, he had all the charisma and all that, didn't he? But Noyce took it to another level with the looks and the persona, and
Yeah, for sure. Graham Noyce was the first rock star of this game.
Yeah.
And then DeCosta come along very smooth, but Graham Noyce, as he's British, he was special with the Stadium Plus helmets, and he, relatively speaking, he earned some big money.
Yeah.
He earned some big money, and I took him out with me one night. You're going to like this. I took him out with me, and we were up against the Arabs it was a big Formula One powerboat race. And he went up, which he didn't know who it was.
This was after his career, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
He went up to the king, which he didn't know. He said, "Oi, Abdo." I thought, okay, we're going to get killed here. He said, "You need to put right fuel in there." And the bodyguards were about 9 foot tall, 8 foot wide. But yeah, what a great. Let's hear it for Graham Noyce.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's going to be here. And like I said, for you,
he's going to be here.
So for you to do this charity thing, so how did he react when you put the call into him about doing this?
Well, I told Graham that I said it'd be a good idea if we'd done this for charity, and all I got was a grunt. And I'm very privileged to have his number. And then I said, this is what I think we could raise. And then we talked about a few numbers, and he come alive.
Ah, okay.
I'm trying to put it without saying it.
No, that's fine.
So obviously, you guys have spoken and you've got involved with the first event, as in Fox Hill.
Yeah.
It seemed to go well from your standpoint, stepping in as a sponsor, because we all know you don't have to do this, you don't have to get involved, but you got involved. You had the stall there, the guys and it rained, so I think they did well.
I think we sold
on
a lot of
the
stuff.
ponchos and the umbrellas. Right to order, right to queue. We know you're passionate about it, but how's it gone, the relationship with actually getting more involved with the VMXDM?
If I take it from a personal point of view, it's 110%. The feeling I got being part of the Fox Hills and Farleigh Castle is beyond. And as it happens, we've made a few quid because it pissed them. It rained hard.
Yeah.
It rained hard, and I sold so many ponchos you couldn't believe it.
Excellent.
And a guy said to me, £2 cheaper online, and it's really pissing down. And I said, well, get it online then. He said, well, I need it now. I said, well, that's why it's £2 dear, my boy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And, it's financially, who cares? But, we'll be there. By the way, we're here for next year as well.
Excellent.
Oh, brilliant.
There you go. You heard it here first,
Yeah,
ladies and
we're here.
gentlemen.
Good stuff.
Rob don't even know that. We're here for
Oh,
next
news to
year
me.
as one of your main sponsors out
Excellent.
here for Fox Hills, because we love this game and we can't let it demise. What Rob and Dave King and everybody else has done is beyond belief, because we're seeing motocross how we've seen it. Is this wrong?
No, it's just the feedback we're getting. You carry on.
Right, so it's really good for all of you, because you guys want to be here next year, yeah?
Absolutely, we do. I'm not sure they can hear us that
They can't
well.
hear us, kid.
Okay, well, I'll do sign language.
Right, we're going to wrap it up, kid.
So, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely brilliant you're involved. Just very
it's
quickly.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, just very quickly before we sign off, what bike are you riding? Because when I came down to Arrange HQ,
yeah.
this is a multinational company, shops all over the UK. I walked in the lobby expecting
everywhere.
Yeah, I thought I walked into Sammy Miller's. What? I mean, it's like
Hell of a
your
collection.
passion is so obvious. It's
Yeah.
there. So, are you taking any of the bikes out of the reception? Are you riding? Where are you riding?
We're taking a very, very rare BSA Grand Prix bike, a 441cc, 1965, a bit of an old bone shaker. But that bike went round here nearly 60 years ago and won a Grand Prix.
Okay.
That's the same bike.
And it's going to win again on Sunday.
It will do.
I've got faith in you, Chris.
It's great.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all.
Thanks, Chris.
Perfect.
Thanks for getting
Thank
involved
you.
in that. There you go,
Thanks for the
Mr.
support,
Chris
man.
Dawson. Great stuff.
Perfect.
We're seeing for a beer later on. Not as much as at Fox Hill because he's riding.
Cheers, Chris.
There you go. There
Cheers,
goes
mate.
Chris. That's another podcast. Obviously, for everybody that was in here watching, we did our best with the sound. The good thing is, this is going to be on YouTube, and you can go and watch
You
it
can
on
watch it back again
with
live.
decent sound. Always a pleasure, Wobbs.
Once again,
Fair play.
need an early night, don't we, kid?
Yeah, fair play on another great event.
So far, so good. A lot of people here.
A lot of people. Track looks amazing.
Does look really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, nothing to do with me, but the track looks ace.
Yeah.
I'll take all the glory. I don't give a fuck.
Even Muggins here is riding tomorrow, so I'm glad we're not doing a podcast tomorrow because I'd just be like, ugh.
No, we're going to have
There we go. So we're
have
going
Roger
to sign
Warren
off.
on the stage tomorrow doing the rider
Yeah.
intros.
So thanks for everybody tuning in. Keep remembering to liking and subscribing.
Yeah.
We've done these live shows from Fox Hill and from here. From
We got another one
from
coming up,
Farleigh.
haven't we?
Yeah.
We've got Matterley coming up.
Matterley. Yeah, we're going to announce more about that soon. And
Sorry,
then we get into
I've
the
thrown it in
winter.
the ring there already.
And we'll be back doing studio shows. So for everybody, for all the love and support, because we've had
We get a
so
lot.
many nice
We
comments
get a lot of love.
about what we're doing. We threw this together with no plan. We said we'd do a few, see how it goes.
Let's go back.
And here we are. So hopefully we'll grow this thing. Thanks to you all for your support.
Right, I need a piss.
Yeah, we're out. We'll see you again soon. Thanks, everybody.
Later, thank you.